different early morning drive for me because I stayed up for the hockey game last night. Watched the Saints Blues win Game 5. So now we're on to Game 6 Sunday. Anyways, so now I missed the gym. I'm driving it now. I have a problem of my own that I don't like watching friends of mine who are really, they're friends of mine, so I like them. But I watch them make mistakes, or I see flawed thinking, and I want to reach out to them, and this is through social media, right, through Facebook. And I want to reach out to them and say, hey, what you're saying doesn't actually make sense, because if you think of it this way, like, that doesn't make sense. But I don't want to, but I don't do it, right? I stop myself, because I recognize, in the case I'm talking about, this is someone who has a certain point of view on a certain social subject I'm not going to go into, because I don't want to turn this into a big flame. But I want to kind of point out that I respect his point of view. I think that the way he's making his argument has logical flaws, so maybe don't say it that way, because you're not going to win anybody over with that basic, obvious logical flaw. But I won't jump into that thread. If I were face-to-face with him, I could talk to him through this, because he's a smart guy, and he would go, yeah, no, you're right, totally. That I should state it a different way, because it doesn't help my argument to say it the way that I've said it. But to do that on Facebook, right, means everybody who's following his thread, who agrees with his point of view, thinks I'm taking the opposite side of you, and they dogpile. Basically, my point is, social media is breaking our ability to have conversations with our friends. I could reach out to them one-on-one, but yeah, maybe that's part of my problem. Like, why don't I just reach out to him one-on-one and say, hey, buddy, I respect your point of view. I think your reasoning here is not making any sense. But at the same time, even then, like, I value our friendship so much. What is going on in social media, the bifurcation, the butting of heads, has gotten me to self-censor, where I don't even do that any longer. And again, I feel like I've got a basically neutral tone, but I think people on one side or the other are going to say, you're not neutral, you're for the other team, or you're for the other point of view. Which isn't really true. I guess it's true in some cases. It's a shame, because I like this guy, and I feel like our different points of views about things have kind of forced us to not have conversations where in the past we would have. It could also just be distance. I mean, I don't live in the same place as him, and again, face to face, I have a lot of friends who hold the opposite point of view of me, and I like talking to them. I used to, like, certain of them anyways, the ones who would, like, have a calm, rational discussion with me, absolutely. And some of them are the smartest people I know in their field, and they, of course, like anybody, they feel like it translates into every field, and I fall into that trap myself. But I feel like I'm saddened, I guess, the idea that the way that we're allowing ourselves to polarize because of the way that social media and mainstream media are pushing us into, like, separate camps. That a guy like me who wants to have a rational discussion somewhere in the middle, I'm finding fewer and fewer outlets for it. So I'm quieter now, on my social media especially. Oh well, I'm sure we'll find our way out of it. I think at some point there'll be a breaking point. I basically feel that all trends are rubber bands. Like, you swing to one side, we're extremely polarized, and we'll swing back again to where we're having calm, rational discussions. It's just going to take some time and some patience and good people setting the path for us. So, which hopefully this channel will do a little bit of, anyways. All right. Well, good morning. It's very early. Well, it's not very early, really. That's the time I'm usually in the truck driving from the gym to work, but not having been at the gym, my throat's all scratchy and cracky, and I could use a drink of water. Yeah. All right. Have a good morning.